It's hard to like write things down and take notes when I'm feeling like sick and like feeling like this sort of like anxiety and like everything like that. And then I'm feeling completely worn out, um, just like during the day and during the night, and sort of like, uh, I don't know what to do anymore again. Like how I feel kind of every year. Like, I don't know what to do anymore, Ryan. Like, if I can talk to everybody all fucking year long. And so it's just like I get worn out. Um, Last night, I'll try to say this in the order of events, but last night, the starships, the constellations that I know are actually UFOs or starships, they were in the backyard. I went into the backyard to check them to see who was there, and I saw Melina's ship. It's like a triangle with like one dot here, and then I saw that one, and then I saw I'm gonna call it the Falcon, and it's like basically Eric's ship, and I saw Eric's ship there, and then I saw a bunch of other ones that like I'm not really familiar with, but they're they're probably ships that I'm aware of, but I'm not exactly sure. But there was a lot, and they were all in the backyard and here again, the same place. And then I was like, I wanted to walk around and see if any of them came on this side. Oh, and there was a Syrian ship in the front yard, and it was just two stars like this, and it was like scanning my house. So it was like slowly like the star here, and it was like slowly scanning my house like this. Alyssa, if it's getting scary, I think you should stop posting and start praying. I think that's really funny because that's when I know that I'm literally God. Because who am I praying to? I'm praying to myself. Like, I think that's really funny. Like, that's why I'm reporting this to my conglomerate of energy because my conglomerate of energy needs to like help out at this point. Or place the place will be overwhelmed with space goats. The space will be overwhelmed with space codes in a brief second. That's why our princess is freaking out. Per the protocol of space rescue. Um, because it means, once again, that humans are not confunctory in reporting to her in an orderly manner. And therefore, one with the state, refusing to move on to the church. And it is affecting our energy. There we go, the ping ponging back and forth as to who's responsible, and no one's taking, no one's taking initiative. So space protocol has to step in yet again. All right. So that was cool. And then I walked to the left to this side of the house, and where there's like no stars, right? No constellations. And I walked to the left and looked up, and then Melina's ship, who was in the backyard, was now completely right above me again on this side of the house. And then the Falcon was also there, right? And um and I was like, so the Falcon moved out, and Melina was like literally following me around the yard and being like literally dead center, like right above me wherever I was going. And I looked up and I was like, cool, okay, like, and I started to like feel like the childlike empress at that point. So I started to feel like younger, and like it's sort of like when my dad's kind of like take over my suit to protect me. And that's sort of what was happening, because I was just like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And then I continued to walk. And then Melina still, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just like an illusion or whatever from the backyard. And I walked to this part of the yard. Still, Melina was right above me, and the Falcon moved out too. And I was like, what the hell, dude? And it was like, I know it's Eric's ship, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And I was feeling like very like these ships are hostile as I moved. Like they were fine here, and now I move here, and now they're hostile. And I'm like, what is happening? And then Atreyu looks up at the ships and he's like, why are you doing this to her? It's her planet. And he said that from inside my suit. And then I walked to the front yard and then I saw the Sirius ship, the two dots, and I sat and watched them for a while, and they were going like this and scanning. Then literally, it was two fucking stars, literally two stars, and the stars start going like this. I'm not kidding. They started spinning like this, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Okay, that is how real this shit is. Okay, that is how real outer space is on Earth, and I never had my fucking spaceships clocking me around the yard before. Oh, and I went over here. So I walked around. I went over here. Now Melina is over here. Okay, it's a star constellation. It looks like a star constellation. I'm supposedly star constellations just move like a tiny bit, right? During the night or whatever. No, that now I'm over here and Melina is still directly above me on this side, okay? And it was, I'm telling you, like felt like kind of hostile or whatever, so I didn't feel the need to film it, but you know, because I was getting freaked out. Okay, and so Melina was just like freaking clocking me around my house, right? Oh, and then I looked up, and then the Four Horsemen is directly above my house, right? So, and the Four Horsemen is like this. It's like a one star, one star, one star, one star. It's a box. It's a square. And it's directly above my house, and I'm like, great, the Four Horsemen. And then the Four Horsemen kind of moved out to this part of the yard, and then it combined with a Palladian ship. And I looked for my dad's ship, and I couldn't find it. And then I finally found it, the Palladian dad. And then I finally found it. He was over here. He was sort of like far out on the street. And then he moved up above this house here. And then what happened? Oh, the Sirius ship, and it started going like this. And it was literally stars. And then it got to a point, and then this star just became a fucking plane out of nowhere. Now it's a plane, and then the plane just started flying, and I was like, that is fucking crazy. I've never seen anything like that in my life before. And then the plane flew out of view, and then all of a sudden, like, the sky sort of like reset, and then there was a Syrian ship again, right? And I was like, what the hell? This is so crazy. And it was just like really mind-blowing. And I know it's interesting. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'm like, oh, I should have filmed it now, but it's like, at the time, I was like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to be here. Like, it was like really like foreboding, like really fear and foreboding. And I was like, I don't even want to look at it, right? And my dad made me go outside and look at it a couple times, and I was like, I don't want to look again. I don't want to look again. But he wanted me to, and so we did. And so if I don't even want to look, then I don't even want to film it, you know? You guys know what fear and foreboding feels like, right? And what anxiety feels like. So that's what happened last night. And then I went to sleep, and I was with Rione in this house. We were in the dining room, and Rione is standing on one side of the table, and I'm standing on the other side of the table, and it's actually me and Rione in this house in another dimension. And I'm like, why don't you come over? You need to come over. And he's like, I don't want to come over. I don't want to come over. And I'm like, you have to come over. And so it's like, those are the interdimensionals of us, right? And then that whole freaking universe like heard that conversation, obviously, because telepathy is real. And that whole universe started like shaking, like, oh my God, it's not the real princess in this universe. It's not the real princess and prince in this universe, and started shaking. And then there was another Rione. There was two Riones. And I was like, why don't you want to come over? Why don't you come over? You need to come over. And he's like, no, I don't want to. And then the other Rione is like, we are about to get cooked, because they all felt it, because they realized that universe was the fake princess and prince. And and so yeah, so that universe then probably, oh, and then I saw a spaceship. I saw one of the star constellations, I saw it come down, and as it comes down, it's not hidden anymore. And you know when the ships are like they have sort of like the shape of it with the background intact. It's like that, and then it lands, and then you can see it. And so that happened in that universe last night, and that universe obviously got cooked. And so we're about to get cooked because it's gonna spiral into this universe, right? And then, oh, he's like, I want to close the book. I want to close the book. I want to close the book. Or I want to close the story. I want to close the story. And that's like illegal now because that's basically putting me back in my void and resetting the video game. And y'all know who I am by now. And that's why it's illegal. And he said that. And then my two dads flew in, and like it was the same picture as the work picture, and they flew in to protect me. Alyssa, why is Atreyu attacking himself? Because he refuses to bifurcate. And he's affecting all of our energy. And it's not my Atreyu, and it's not my Brandon. You have to agree and move on with your life. That's why this is happening, okay? Because there is one energy in the room, and it is me, Alyssa. And if you're calling yourself Alyssa, you might just be my energy. It's pretty simple math. Ow. Oh, yeah, and I woke up with an excruciating pain body, which I still feel in this arm. It just feels like I blew my arm off last night or something. It feels like this arm like is like cut off. And then I had like all this crazy pain in my back, and I had crazy pain in this arm too. All of this pain went away, but this pain is still there. It's pretty bad. And that's where the tooth pain was too. So it's all this side that's like the pain body. So there's obviously Atreyus out of line that are making this occur, and not, you know what I mean? Not like, oh yeah, and I saw the FEMA camps again last night on the back porch. And that's why it escalated to outer space on the negative side, because the negative FEMA camps were showing off. And we're just like, why do we have to watch this? Like, we don't want any of this crap, you know? Um, I hope we're going to be successful and go from 4-1 to 4-2. That's what I really hope. Because this shit is blah. And yeah. And then I was with my coworkers, and my coworkers were being mean to me yet again, and they were like bullying me again. And I was telling them off, and I was like, you can't do this to me, guys. You literally cannot bully me anymore. And then it affected their energy, and they're like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Because it's affecting the whole family is exactly why. Oh, and then there's all these like side chicks that are trying to get back into my group because they know it's real, but they refuse to say it's real. But they know it's real, so they're like challenging like the people in like the Crowns group. And yeah, then there was like a ship that dropped from the Syrian ship, and it came to like drop a bomb on my house, an energy bomb. Because I don't feel right saying like the words like like it's energy to drop some space codes on my house. But it was like a hostile energy codes or whatever, and that like dissipated energy into my yard in another location. It is definitely a World War III occurrence, and I should definitely be allowed to talk in my video game. And There's the Andromedan who wants to give his wife her confidence back. That is coming through the chat right now. I should be able to talk about this and live free and clear because it is my video game and you are all my energy. And if you're calling your name Melissa or Hayden, that means you are our energy. So I already feel sick. I've finished my last cigarette. So if anybody wants to drop off a pack of cigarettes, that would be great. I'm also out of wine. I'm out of bagels and cream cheese, just a few things that would be great. So, yeah, there's a lot of horrible things like going on yesterday that caused them to escalate to outer space and to their spaceships. And that's what causes a hostile takeover from space. And they're not allowed to land in Alyssa's space. So, but they are allowed to land in other spaces. Oh, and then I saw the Mars Attacks guy, the Mars Attacks alien, and he's like, what are you asking for? And I said full embodiment, and I gave him a lot of blue energy, and he's probably the one that like attacked that house in that dimension, which is pretty freaking cool. I would love to see a Mars Attack movie happen in real life. Yeah, the spaceship following me around was like really cool, but it definitely had a more like hostile, aggressive tone, and that's not cool at all. Oh. And so this season is like more like pain body, like getting over the pain body, that the pain body's not real. And I was thinking like since some of my siblings seem to be um there seems to be this house in like every dimension, and there seems to be aspects of my siblings and my friends where they're like in the house and they're trapped in the house. And I got the idea that my one of my best friends, Christina, that happened to her, and like their like some of their aspects are trapped in levels of hell where they're like sort of in a solitary confinement position in this house where they're like all alone in this house. And yes, there are other dimensions and space and times where this can exist and occur. And it's kind of freaking me out because I want to rescue them from hell. And I know people are like, well, it's hell. And it's like, well, it's a video game. And I already told you you can turn the map around and hell can be quite enjoyable. And then you can call hell freaking heaven. You know, like you guys got to get out of your stupid logical minds where it's like a binary code thing, like hell is bad and hell is evil and heaven is good and heaven is great. Like heavenly spaces can be just as terrifying as hellish spaces, right? But I think that's basically like the idea right now is for me anyway, is to help like rescue these pieces of my friends and family that I found out this year are somewhat trapped in like a solitary confinement type thing. That's why I keep saying you have to accept that you are partially demonic and partially satanic so that we can help you go through the gates up and down in a more fun fashion, and obviously left and right as well. But yeah, there was two Riones. There was two Chef Boyardees in that house. I thought that was really funny because those were the ones that showed up in the sky for me last year when I had when y'all deleted me from my own video game last year. And there was two of them in the sky, and they were huge. And I think I went to the house where they were at last night. So I had to like go and find him. I think that's it. It will be interesting to see what the sky looks like tonight. If the starships want to show up during the day, that would be great. We know stars aren't real by now, and all of this stuff is sort of like laying the groundwork for like what's real and like what's fake and everything. And it helps a lot to like talk about these things and know that stars, constellations are actually spaceships, and that goes into the consciousness of individuals, and it helps create a more real game as opposed to a Sims game. And I think that's the why I felt this big need to talk this year to help like rewrite humanity's code, because a lot of humanity is like too afraid to talk about this now, or they're talking about the wrong things, or they're just like taking credit, or it's like you have to go to like a special person to see a spaceship, but it's like no, you don't have to. You just have to believe in it and like um listen to your mom, and then like you can get it like the game recoded and stuff like that. And it'll become like more and more real in our 3D reality, and we won't feel as trapped in 3D if I keep going, if I keep talking. And that's obviously my goal, because I don't want anybody to feel like alone or anything like that, or yeah, or like they have no one to talk to or something like that. You know, like we can talk about this, and it's not that weird to be interdimensional. It's not that weird to um, see yourself in other dimensions, and it's not that weird to have similar experiences with other people. And it's not that weird to like want to be more real, because it's literally a video game, and like you don't need to be like a freaking Sims character, you know? So I think that's it. Oh, and if you're traveling and going to hotel rooms and like showing off on social media, Melina did tell you to stop that last night. So I know that that code is going out, and I know you're being warned to not do that, right? Because unless I can do it, you shouldn't do it, because that's going to affect your life negatively, and because you're honoring the fake princess and not the real princess. And so that's to try to help you and uh, yeah,